It's the penultimate game week of the Serie A season. Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the European Football All-Time channel. And today, this is my game week 37 Serie A predictions. Of course, 2 games left until the season is done. And I mean, just looking at this table is absolutely mind-blowing. You got the title, looks like it could go down to the final day, Champions League or just European football in general could go down to the final day, relegation could go down to the final day. Everything is to play for with 2 games to go, and this weekend is going to be really exciting. Some really good games to look forward to. So yeah, let's get into the video. And game week 37 kicks off tonight. Only 1 game today on the Saturday, as it is Genoa against Atalanta. Of course, Genoa, their last game, a 2-2 draw away at Napoli. Not a bad result at all, to be honest with you, for Genoa. For Atalanta, a 2-1 win at home against Roma. Of course, that win for Atalanta did confirm Atalanta's place in the Champions League for next season. So these last 2 games don't really mean a lot for Atalanta. I mean, the last 2 games for Genoa don't really mean a lot. It's a bit of a meaningless game, to be honest with you. Genoa, they've got nothing to play for. Atalanta have got nothing to play for. So, like I said, it's the game that doesn't really mean anything, really. I mean, Genoa, like I said, they got a good result away at Napoli last week. I mean, I watched bits and bobs of the game. I thought Genoa played all right. To be fair. But yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the Atalanta game, but still a good win there against the Roma side, who, before they lost to Atalanta, like on the game that happened, Roma were unbeaten like 18 games or something, which is quite mad, to be fair. But yeah, in the end, I think most people will probably back Atalanta to go to Genoa and win. So I think, and I'm going to be that person. So yeah, my prediction, I'm going to go Genoa 0, Atalanta 3. And now we move on to the games on Sunday. I mean, we've got pretty much most of the games are all tomorrow, which is going to be mad. But anyway, we have Cagliari against Venezia. Of course, Cagliari, their last game, a 3-1 defeat away at Como. For Venezia, though, they won 2-1 at home against Fiorentina. Massive win for Venezia. Of course, because if we look at the table now, Venezia, they are currently 17th, a point clear of Lecce and Empoli, who are 18th and 19th, and are both on 28 points. So that win for Venezia was absolutely massive against a European chasing Fiorentina side as well. Of course, they're facing a Cagliari side who they can still go down, but 4 points clear with 2 games to go. You probably back Cagliari to stay up, but I think this game's more important for Venezia, to be honest with you. You know, they've got to go to Cagliari, they've got to try and win this game if they can, but Cagliari, I mean, like I said, Cagliari can still go down, but I think a point at least, depending how, you know, the likes of Verona and Parma get on, probably should be enough to keep Cagliari in Serie A. But like I said, this game is definitely a lot more important for Venezia, but if Venezia can beat Fiorentina, then surely they can go here and win. But I don't think that's going to happen. But like I said, Venezia need to go to Cagliari and win. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll get a point though. I think Venezia will get a point, which is not the end of the world, I guess. So yeah, my prediction is Cagliari 1, Venezia 1. And next up, we have Fiorentina against the Coppa Italia champions in Bologna. Of course, Bologna won the Coppa Italia the other day. They won 1-0 against AC Milan. That's actually Bologna's first trophy, I think, in 53 years. So, I mean, this season is just the season of ending trophy tracks. You got Newcastle with the Carabao Cup, Bologna as well. Hopefully Spurs with the Europa League next Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, Bologna, I mean, they'll be over the moon after beating Milan in the final. Of course, I mean, the last league game was against AC Milan, which Bologna did lose 3-1. Of course, Fiorentina, like I said, did lose away at Venezia, which, I mean, I'm not really shocked about, to be honest with you, considering Fiorentina, before that game, they did have to go to extra time in the Conference League against Real Betis, which obviously, Real Betis, I think it was 2-2, and obviously Betis won, I think, 3-2 on aggregate or something. But yeah, I mean, it's a big game for both teams, really. You got Bologna, can still get Champions League football. I think Fiorentina still have a chance of getting in there as well. I mean, from Juventus down to Fiorentina. So you got Juve, Lazio, Roma, Bologna, Milan and Fiorentina. they've all got a chance really of getting Champions League football. So this could be a massive game for both teams, to be honest with you. But I think Fiorentina are missing some big players. I think Moise Keane's injured. They've got a few players that are suspended. So it will be tough for Fiorentina, considering, like I just said, they are missing some big players through injury. I mean, Bologna, I mean, they've probably had a bit, probably had a few of these after the win in the Coppa Italia the other day. But yeah, I mean, it won't really surprise me if Fiorentina win, because Bologna probably have had a bit few of these after the win in the Coppa Italia the other day. But yeah, in the end, I think Bologna are actually going to win this game. I think Fiorentina are missing some really, really big players. So yeah, in the end, I'm going to go Fiorentina 0, Bologna 2. And next game is Hellas Verona against Como. Como winning 3-1 their last game at home to Cagliari. Hellas Verona, they drew 1-1 against Lecce. Now, to be honest, I think Como will probably win this game. I mean, Como are just absolutely on fire at the moment. They're 10th place, miles clear of relegation. I mean, I mean, they are staying up as well, Como, which I'm really happy with, because I really, ever since Como got promoted, I wanted them to stay up, and they really have. But just, they've been, their form recently has been absolutely unbelievable. They've been playing some really good football, and away at Verona, a team that's conceded 64 goals this season, and haven't really scored many either, to be honest with you. I think the stars are aligning for a Como win. So yeah, I think that's going to happen. So yeah, I think Como will continue their winning run. So yeah, my prediction is Hellas Verona 0, Como 3. And the next game, what a game this is going to be. San Siro, Inter versus Lazio. An absolutely massive game for both teams. Inter obviously needing to win to keep their chances of winning the league alive. But as for Lazio, they need to win to keep their chances of qualifying for the Champions League alive. It's a massive game for both teams, to be honest with you. Of course, Inter, their last game was a 2-0 win away at Torino. I mean, Inter kind of named a bit of a B team in that game, but I mean, they probably had to, considering they had to go. But the game before that, they had to go to extra time in the Champions League against Barcelona. Lazio, on the other hand, they drew 1-1 against Juventus. I mean, Lazio probably could have won that game, because apparently Juve didn't really play that well, to be honest with you. But like I said, this is an absolutely massive game, to be honest. I mean, both teams are missing some players. I think Martinez is injured. I think Pavard's injured as well for Inter. I think Lazio missing some players through suspension. I think Sakanyi's suspended. I think someone else who's really important is suspended. They've got a few big players who are injured as well. So both teams are missing some big players coming into this game. But I mean, Inter will probably have that slight advantage with it being at home. But I wouldn't write off Lazio, because Lazio have been good this season under Marco Baroni. But this is it's a big game for both teams. It's probably both teams' biggest games of the season. I mean, for Inter, probably their biggest game of the season will be the Champions League final, which is actually 2 weeks today, I think, against Paris Saint-Germain at the Allianz Arena. But overall, for now, this is probably Inter's biggest game of the season. They need to win this game, and they probably need Parma to do a bit of a favour against Napoli. Well, stay tuned, because I will be predicting that game later. But like I said, Lazio, I wouldn't write them off. They have got players that can hurt Inter. I mean, Inter have definitely got players that can hurt Lazio. But yeah, I think it'll be a tight game. But in the end, I think the Nerazzurri will just about win this game. Tight game in the end. But yeah, my prediction is Inter Milan 2, Lazio 1. I think Inter will just about get the win. And the next game is Juventus against Udinese. Juventus, like I just said, drew 1-0 away at Lazio. Udinese lost at home to already relegated Monza. Not a good look there for Udinese. I mean, they don't really have much to play for. Udinese, they're 12th mid-table, nothing to play for. But for Juve, I mean, they're in pole position to qualify for Champions League. They are in 4th. I mean, yes, they are level on points for Lazio, but they obviously are in 4th on goal difference, and they've got, I think, a bad goal difference of +7, I think, to Lazio. But yeah, I mean, Juventus, again, like I said with Lazio, are missing some big players through suspension. I think Pierre Kalulu suspended. I think they have got some big players that are suspended, to be honest with you. I think Lorenzo Luca for Udinese is suspended as well, so he won't be playing. But to be honest, Juventus at home against the mid-table Udinese, you surely back Juve to win this one. But you never know, really. Udinese could turn up and win. I mean, Juventus travelled to Parma a few weeks ago, and I don't think anyone. Juve travelled to Parma a few weeks ago, and Parma won 1-0. I don't think anyone was really expecting Parma to beat Juve, but anything can happen, really. But yeah, I think Juve at home against an Udinese side with nothing to play for. I think Juve win. So yeah, my prediction: Juventus 2, Udinese 1. The next game, it is Lecce against Torino. Torino losing 2-0 at home to Inter last week. Lecce drawing 1-0 away at Verona. I mean, this game definitely a lot more important for Lecce. They need to win this game to have a chance of staying up. Who do they have on the last game? Who's their last game against? Lazio. Oh, that's not a game that they want, do they? But yeah, but Lecce need to win this game because, I mean, Lazio away, that is not a game you do not want on the last game of the season. Torino, like I said, not much to play for them. They're mid-table. And yeah, but the pressure is on Lecce. They need to win this game, Lecce. They need other results to go their way. They need Empoli to slip up. They need Venezia to slip up. Potentially likes of Parma as well, Verona, Cagliari. But probably the main teams they need to slip up are Empoli and Venezia. But to be honest with you, but Torino, they do look decent. Yes, I know they lost to Inter last week. Yes, I know they did lose to Inter last week, but Inter are just a very good side. But Torino on their day are good, and I think on paper you're probably back Torino to go there and win. So yeah, I think Torino will win this game. I think it'll be a big defeat for Lecce coming into the final day. So yeah, my prediction is Lecce 0, Torino 2. And the next game is another big relegation battle, as it is 20th against 19th. It's Monza against Empoli. Of course, Monza are already down. Not really much to play for them. But again, the pressure is on Empoli. They need to win Empoli to stay up. I mean, Empoli, we all know what happened with them last season. I remember watching. I think they played Roma on the final day at home. And Empoli scored in the last minute to stay up. So maybe could something similar happen on the final day? I don't know. But, I mean, Empoli, again, they're going to a Monza side who are already down. Monza have nothing to play for. So, Empoli, they just need to turn up and win. But Monza, they did go to Udinese and win, which was quite impressive for them, considering Monza are down. And, I mean, they've already won that before they won that game at Udinese. They've only won 2 games all season, scored 27 and conceded 64. So, yeah, I mean, that could play an advantage for Empoli, you could say, considering that they have conceded 64, but at the same time, Empoli have conceded 56 and scored 29, and Monza have scored 27. So, yeah, I mean, I think there is a possibility that Monza could get something out of this game, but Empoli really need to go to Monza and win to have a chance of staying up. But I think Monza, plus as well, I was checking earlier, Monza have actually got a good home record against Empoli. I don't even know the last time Empoli went to Monza and win. It was probably in the Serie B days, probably. I don't know. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go with a draw for this game. I think Monza will get a result. And probably, a draw, would it suit Empoli going into the final day? Probably not. But yeah, in the end, I'm going to go Monza 1, Empoli 1. And the next game, it is a big game. It is Parma against Napoli. Of course, Parma, again, they could still mathematically go down. But, they are, 28 to 9, 28 to 9, 51. They are 4 points clear with 2 games to go. But to be fair to Parma, they do have 2 tricky games left. So they got Napoli this weekend. And next weekend, on the final game, they go to Atalanta. So it's 2 not easy games for Parma. And Parma lose the next 2 games and the teams around Parma win, Parma could get dragged into it. And yeah, Napoli, obviously they got a draw last week against Genoa. Probably not a result they would have wanted, but I think Napoli, you probably expect them to go to Parma and win, but I think Parma are more than capable to give them a game. I think recently they have done quite well against the teams at the top. Obviously, they beat Juventus. I think they drew with Lazio as well recently. I think they beat AC Milan at the start of the season as well. So they do know what to do against the big teams, but, they're playing a Napoli side under Antonio Conte. I mean, the credit has to go to him. Obviously, I know what Conte's like as a manager. He was at Spurs and it was dreadful, but he's an absolutely wonders at Napoli this season. Got them playing some really good football, but it's a big game for both teams, really. Both teams need to win, but for me, I think Napoli are going to go to Parma and go into the final day in pole position. Potentially, Napoli could potentially actually win the league this weekend, maybe. Because you think about it, if they win and Inter lose, what happens if Napoli wins? 78, 79, 80, 81. So 79, 80. Yeah, think about it. If Napoli win and Inter lose, Napoli have won the league. So, yeah. What happens if Napoli draws 79 and Inter lose? Yeah, I think the only way Napoli can win the league this weekend is they win and Inter lose. Which, could happen. You never know. But anyway, I think Napoli win this game. So, yeah, my prediction is Parma 1, Napoli 3. And the final game then is from the Stadio Olimpico as Roma take on AC Milan. Again, two teams that could get into the Champions League. Roma just a point behind Milan, 4 points behind. Brilliant turnaround for AC Milan, really. They've won their last 3 games in the league in a row. And a few weeks ago, everyone was writing off AC Milan, But AC Milan have really got themselves back into them. They got a good win last Friday against Bologna. And obviously, I know they did lose to Bologna in the Coppa Italia. But, yeah, of course, Roma, like I said, did lose to Atalanta. That first defeat in a while, to be honest with you. But again, I think it's a game where both teams need to win, to be honest with you. Roma win. Who have Roma got in the last game of the season? I think AC Milan have got Monza, which AC Milan were happy to. They should be beating Monza. Who have Roma got? Torino away. I don't think that'll be an easy game, to be honest with you. I don't think that'll be an easy game, to be honest with you. Torino on their day, like I said, are good. But like I said, both teams need to win. But Milan, they've won the last 3 games in a row. They'll be feeling confident coming into this game. But Roma will know at home. They know what they're doing. Ranieri, like I've said it before, Ranieri has transformed Roma's season. Because under De Rossi, they were like near relegation. They were literally could have got relegated. But sacked him. Ranieri's came in and he's really transformed Roma's season, to be honest with you. But yeah, plus half the time I do watch Roma at the Olimpico, they do play good. But yeah, in the end, I think a tight game this will be. But I think Roma will just about win this game. I think it'll be quite end to end. So yeah, I'm going to go in the end. Roma 2, AC Milan 1. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to smash the like, subscribe. And there will be a live watch along for the games. Well, probably the main games I'll be focusing on are Inter and Napoli. But yeah, there will be a live watch along, so do not worry. But yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon. Goodbye.